Sunrise is pleased to welcome the Most Honorable Andrew Holness for his first sit-down since the start of the year, exclusively here on Sunrise. Prime Minister, or should we say Dr. the Honorable?
Yes.
Andrew Holness, welcome.
Good morning, welcome.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Well, Yanni, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Dennis,
How you doing?
good to see you.
Nice,
It's
nice.
a pleasure. Good to see the studio.
Yes,
It's
good
amazing,
looking, right?
indeed.
Can I tell you, right? I haven't been inside your studio for more than a decade.
Okay.
It's been a long time.
Well,
Well, it's good to
now it's a
have
good
you.
time.
And it's a great time to be here with this new effervescent set of hosts that CVM has brought on, which I hear is doing an amazing job
Well-
of bringing back viewership to morning television.
The right person is in your ear then. You've heard right. You've heard right. You know, I must say, the first thing I have to tell you, PM, is I noticed that you're both donning blue. And I know I might be the odd person out here as the non-St. Catherine High person, but if you notice, you see, for the sake of the uniform, what do you think? Not true?
Excellent. Yours it's
It's a
lovely.
nice shade of
I want it to fit in, you know?
It's a nice shade of
Thank you.
Blue is a lovely color. I have many blue suits.
Indeed.
It's a color that is inclusive. It brings people together.
Indeed.
Speaking of St. Catherine High, let's talk a little bit about, we mentioned a bit in the intro where you started, being from the parish, the great parish that Dennis is also from. And I know that education is critically important to you. And I mentioned St. Catherine and the school. So let's go to the place of Prime Minister's journey from where he started in St. Catherine to even the Minister of Education and where you stand now. Walk us through that.
So I was born at the Spanish Town Hospital.
Yeah.
So it was, for me, an immense sense of pride to be able to announce that we are going to do major upgrade work to the Spanish Town Hospital. Spanish Town is a place that's very near and dear to my heart. But over the decades, many, many decades, it is the old capital that we have not invested in. And it is truly in a state where greater investment is needed. So I'm from Spanish Town.
Yeah.
And I will be paying greater attention to ensuring that there is investment in Spanish Town. So far we have two major investment projects in Spanish Town. One is water and one is in health. I went to St. Catherine High School. I owe so much to that school. I went to Spanish Town Primary before, and I owe so much to them as well. But to St. Catherine High School, that's where my formative years were. My teachers were excellent. I lived on Cumberland Road, which is just near to the Grassyard Market. I attended the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and then I lived in Ensom City. It's a newly developed scheme. That was a wonderful time in my life. Met many great friends. It was what you would call an aspirational community. The people who lived there were all trying to pursue, if you want to call it, the middle-class dream, owning your home, getting your children into high school and university. It was quite aspirational. I grew up in the period of the 80s. So that helped to form my political outlook. And then from there, went on to the University of the West Indies. I taught for a year after doing my A-levels. I taught for a year at St. Catherine High School. And then I went on to the University of the West Indies. Participated in student government and in student life there. I lived on Hall. I lived on Chancellor Hall. And that was another formative experience. You could say I lived the Jamaican experience.
Yes.
And I don't consider myself coming from, a rich background. I came from humble beginnings, humble circumstances, single-parent household, myself and my sister and my mother. And put it to you this way: the struggle was real.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't use that, however, as an excuse. I tend to want to say to people, embrace your struggles.
Yes.
Whatever is thrown at you in life, it is to make you stronger. Don't run away from it. Embrace it. I'm getting a sense that some people don't like struggle. There's a sense that life should just be easy. Life should be commoditized, and you can just simply take out one block, put in another, and it should almost be a sense of entitlement. My struggle, my history is that is not it. And you have to really put out the effort, and there is no success without sacrifice.
Prime Minister, you come to us this morning at a time when there is, among people who are interested in these matters, a great deal of frustration with the constitutional reform process. I put it at the back burner of my mind because I've been excited about it in the past and been disappointed. I'm disappointed again because of where we are. Why are we here again where the constitutional reform process has been stalled?
Well, in the 90s, quite a bit of work was done on constitutional reform. There was a committee of parliament that did a report, and it was quite good work. When we were about to celebrate our 60th year of independence, I paid close attention to calls coming from various quarters, including past leaders of the country, that it would be an excellent opportunity for Jamaica to contemplate becoming a republic. It seized my mind as something that was important, and I too felt that at 60, it is time that we seek to become a republic and truly define our independence, move our independence into another form of it. Now, to do that, it was not a straight line. It was not a simple activity, and we considered it very carefully. We thought about the work that was done before, and we recognized that it was dated. It was done at a different period of time. An entire new generation would have emerged since then, and their views ought to be considered.
Yes.
And therefore, our approach to it is that we should not just abandon the work that was done to start all over, but to put in place a committee that would review the work. My understanding of statements made by the leader of the opposition and in letters written to the Minister of Constitutional Affairs is their initial position was that we should just go ahead because they also agree that it is time that Jamaica became a republic. We thought it better to have a process of review because we needed to have taken into account the views of a new generation that has emerged. And Jamaica has become such a diverse country with many, many views. So the nature of our democracy is that we would have to include those views. The opposition, having said go ahead, then they did not want to name members to the review commission. We sorted that out. We had a Vale Royal talk where we explained what the process is. They raised the issue of what would be Jamaica's final court. And we said, look, the process that we're putting in place is a multi-phased process that will deal with all the issues of our Constitution. The first phase of it is that we deal with the one in which we have agreement. So in other words, the frustration that you're feeling could be avoided, like many people in your generation, my generation would feel, if we were making positive steps. So step by step, we could achieve the notion of full and complete independence. After that Vale Royal talk, and after we explained that there is a multi-phased approach, the opposition agreed, and we proceeded. When we proceeded on good faith, that we would be able to do what we agreed on now, and then we move on to the other matter of the CCJ. And our position on the CCJ has been very clear. I established that position in 2015, thereabout, when I explained that from our political perspective, from our party, we believe that if there's going to be any change in our final court, that this is a fundamental change to the architecture of the country, the governance and political architecture of the country. And therefore, this is a matter that should at least benefit from an indicative referendum. And it is one of the matters that we had spoken about as part of a kind of grand referendum, so that people could have a say, because what we have been picking up from our soundings and our research, and even during the period of consultation for the CRC, the Constitutional Reform Committee's work, that it is not a position where it is settled. It is not a settled position nationally.
Except that people know what the People's National Party position is, for instance. People know what the leader of the opposition's position is on what our final appellate court should be. But I'm not certain that people know what the Labour position is or what the Andrew Holness position is.
Right, so
clarify that.
So I'm glad you have raised that, because we have said it on many occasions. Our position is that a final court should be a Jamaican final court. However, whatever ends up being the final court should go through this process of an indicative referendum. The people should have a say on it. So that's number one for us. People should have a say. And secondly, if we are having a final court to be repatriated, it shouldn't go to Port of Spain, it should come to Kingston. That has been our position. Now, on the matter of the final court, because we are saying to the people of Jamaica, we also want to hear your view on it. It may very well turn out that the view of the public is that it should be the CCJ.
Right.
So what we don't want to do is to go to the situation in prescribing to the people of Jamaica.
So
this is what it is.
So you have a position, but it's not a hardline position.
No, our position is, first and foremost, let the people decide it. Right? What we would like to see is this, but really, the people should decide it. What the PNP is saying is, don't ask the people anything. Just go to the CCJ. Now, let's be fair. There are many people in Jamaica who have not expressed their view on the CCJ.
Correct.
And are very silent about it, because there is a view that is carried by persons who are authoritative in the society. But quietly, there are those who might be saying, you know what, let's think about it. The other problem with it is that we need a process. In the same way that the issue of the Republic, we have put it through this very intensive process of public debate, so too should that go to that intensive process of public debate. These are fundamental things, as the leader of the opposition said, and therefore it can't be that because one political party has a particular view on it, then that is what we must do. It is unreasonable. Absolutely unreasonable.
All right, we're going to put a pause right there, because on the other side of the break, the conversation with the Prime Minister continues. Please stay with us here on Sunrise. We'll be back.
Madam Speaker, I thank everyone for their patience, and we do apologize for the break in transmission due to a technical difficulty. And I did want to say, Madam Speaker, no.